Hello everyone, welcome so much to my, I need to use the brush here. Welcome so much to this painting of the hollyhocks. It's hollyhock season. And so I went to my good friend's house to look at the, she has Alzheimer now. And so I just kind of, my mom died, when she died she had Alzheimer. So I went over there just, say hi and, well, she didn't come out to say hi, but I went and looked at her hollyhock because I've been looking at hollyhock for years, right? And actually the leaves over there already have holes, and so I that was the inspiration for this. And I love hollyhock. They're just so beautiful, especially if you have a kind of bushy grassy area. But this is hollyhock season, and so this is the intro now. Just say what I need to say. A drawing of this will be available at my blog sunsetpeony.com. The link will be in the description, and don't look for it on YouTube. The drawing is on sunsetpeony.com in my blog post, okay? And you scroll down to the very bottom, and for this one I'm going to actually draw an outline of this flower here. If you don't want to do that, then you don't have to, but if you do, then you can have one and maybe draw an outline of a different flower over here. Then you can do make yourself a longer painting. As I always say, I'm always pressed of time, right? And so I don't want to waste the gigabyte use and make a long painting. That would be very, very hard. And so I'm going to just do this part, which is almost to the top, okay? That's my imagination, or my, not imagination. Yes, it's in my imagination, or also my composition. And so just wanted to tell you what I did afterwards. I put a little notch over here, okay, with magenta, and I actually intensify this line right here, okay, after I say goodbye, and a notch here, and notch here, and a notch here. I don't like to do a lot of the notches here, because the problem is you make the flower look super busy, and I don't like that. And so I almost finished the whole thing except just this little part I didn't do with you guys, and and so this is, I find this really fun and relatively easy, okay? Do it one step at a time. And the way I do this is I make sure that it's easier for you to follow if you have a hard time. But the speed that I do is maybe a little bit faster because I already had a practice yesterday. And so if you, just like I always do, if the light is not good, turn the brightness up. And if you have a hard time following, pause, go back, look at it, what did she do, and then pause, do your own thing, and then go back and try this again, okay? And so don't allow yourself to get too stressed, because it's not necessary. You have all the time you want, right? And so and also, if you want to know what color I use, is also on my blog post, but I talk about it as I go, so you will know what color I use, but I will write it out of the color I use on my blog post. And if you worry about the brushes, okay, so in my blog there is a link. There's a link that I put there, and there's a product list, and in the product list I put all the link where I get the brushes, where I get the color. It's just a suggestion, and this time I'm going to put that in my blog, in my product list. A watercolor not watercolor, a water kettle for you guys to, because I always have a little bit of herbal tea. And so I just kind of want to put some of the product there if you guys wanted to, get a fast and easy way of making hot water, right? And so it's going to be on my product link, and you can just go take a look and see, It's just for fun though, okay? But all the color is there, and in the very, very near future, I'm going to try to do a watercolor dupe and see if I can get one palette and show you guys if that palette is good enough, that you can actually, because we're using expensive color like, Daniel Smith, Quin Fuchsia, not in this one, but I'm just grabbing it. Yeah, but we use the Sminke prylene green. This is my, I'm so glad I find this color, because it's this color and this color over here, okay? It's a very, very pleasing green color that I really like, and it make up my my mix, okay? Prylene green, sap green, cadmium yellow light, cadmium yellow medium, and indigo, okay? And all these I'll link that, okay? So you can click on it, and then you know which product I actually use, okay? And I also you know, explain in the video, I don't mix color. You can see that, right? I really don't mix color and mix a puddle and do that. I let the color mix on the page. You will find that as you do that, then it will be, you know, the color is very, very pretty because they mix very well themselves and the paper. And I also have a link of the paper too. Yeah. And so do go to my blog, sunsetpeony.com, and I put the blog name in the description here. And so I think that's it. And I really wish you have a lot of fun, and you can watch through it. And so from now on, I think what we're trying to do is have a fast video, and then a paint along regular speed, and the fast video will be time lapse, right? And then it will, you know, then you will see me kind of going fast like that, because I think some people like to watch that kind of speed. And but for you to paint along, a regular speed is what you need. Okay, so I'm gonna have both of them. Okay, we hope that that will happen for this one, but if you don't see it, that means it hasn't happened yet, because I need my computer daughter to help me, and she has a baby, and so I don't know if she had the time to do that. But you know, you can watch the time lapse and then come back and see if you you know, and see if you know, but you can hardly tell, right? And so but the time lapse will be good. I think that will be a fun way of helping out, you know, and then you can see. So I don't know what will happen, but we're gonna try. If it doesn't happen for this one, it will happen for the next one, or next paint along painting. Okay, so that's something that I really like to see if it is well received. Okay, and so stop talking and then we can start. Okay, love you, thank you. Please subscribe. Okay. Okay, let's get started. I have a pencil here so that I can show you what I'm going to do. I have a drawing here which I will provide it for you, a line drawing. Actually, the line drawing that I'm providing you will have a full flower over here, but I'm going to stop over here because of the time limit, but it will have a full flower. You can either follow me, you see that at the end, or you can just also use the skill that you learn here and finish painting a full flower. It's up to you, okay, with the hollyhock. And what I was trying to show you is last time we actually talked about how, you know, as we're painting and learning, we need things to help us. And I'm just drawing the radiance of the line of the flower so that it will help us when we are painting, especially, you know, I'm making a video, and it's very, very nice that we can actually have things to just keep remind us how do we want it to direct the pigment of the color, and how do we want it to go out, right? And sometimes it could be surprising to us, and so we will just actually, like, I just gently flick that, but this will be a wrong direction because the radiant should be coming out from the inside of the flower and going this way, okay? And so, no, it's still coming this way. How's that? That will be more believable, okay? All right, let's start it. And I'm going to start with my little pointed zero brush, and I'm going to my just show you my little green color palette that you see every single time if I'm painting flowers or background. Okay, I dip some of the painting for the statement of the flower. Okay, now you can see that when I tell you I really don't mix color very much at all. I'm not kidding, because I always like to let the color mix on the paper as much as I could, which I would say, oh, how many percent? I would say mostly 75 or 80% of the chance I do that. And if I ever mix color, it will be ever so little. Okay, now you see that I left some white over there, and I'm going to just with a clean brush, you know, dip it in water, wash it, dab it, you know, because it holds a little bit more color water here. Okay, and I want that part to be lighter, and leave some of the white out if I can. Okay, and just leave that there, because in this part of the painting we're gonna come in and do the shadow, so I just kind of wanted it to you know, do that part first. Okay, same. And then I'm going to show you I'm going to use some sap green here, and maybe dip it in some prylene green. This is prylene green, the Schminker prylene green, and with the sap green. Okay, that's about as much as I mix and mix color. You would hardly ever see me with a puddle of color unless, you know, somehow there's a need for that. Okay, and what this is the base of the flower, right, of the hollyhock. And it always on most base of flower they have a little what do you call that now, I'm leaving some white area there, and then clean the brush, okay, and dry it, and pull the color out so it's quite light over there, okay, and just let the water and the color mix over here. But to add a little more depth, okay, and so you see that I'm picking up my prylene green, okay, just because it's a darker green, and I want this area to be a little bit darker, okay. Now this area is butt against the flower over there, okay, so because I'm using this tiny brush, so it give me the detail. Okay, a little bit more of the prylene. Oh, I dip in the sap green of the prylene green, okay. And so this is not just a little bit of a shape, it has depth to it right now, okay. And then we're gonna let that dry, okay. Let's while we're at the green, we can also do the green color of the bud that is climbing up the vine, okay, because of the lack of space that I have here, I'm dipping in the sap green, okay. I'm gonna show you that's about how much I'm gonna show you, because I think a lot of you have asked me, and you are, you know, wondering, you know, where do you mix your color, how do you mix your color. And so I will just tell you once again, I don't mix color very much on the palette at all. You know, that's very much my style of painting, okay. And over in the top, I'm going to let's dip my brush on the indigo color and get a darker color to do the top of this the bud, okay, area, okay. And then I'm putting the indigo into the sap green kind of mix over here, okay. So you can see that there's a change of color, and you can see that how when I say I let the color mix on the, you know, I'm just pulling the color out without any pigment. This is a totally brush with no pigment, okay. And that's it, because I've been presuming the sun coming down this way, and so I wanted it to have a change, so it looked like a, you know, three-dimensional, right? And just let it go like that, okay. And not maybe I would use a little more indigo to accentuate the value, okay, the darker value on the bottom part of the bud, okay. And just let the color mix, because when the color mix on the paper, it's just so pretty. It's just so pretty. And we're doing the same thing. I show you another one, okay, right here before we go into the flower. The reason why I do that is because then I can, you know, kind of establish, you know, because the green is the darker color, right? And so I can kind of establish the flower, how light do I want the flower to be, and compare putting it next to the green, okay. And you can see that I leave some light to indicate the vein of the flower over there. It's the same way I painted that, okay. Go back into some indigo color. Indigo, I use that a lot for green, you know, because indigo mixed with green, it just mixes into a very pretty color. So I do that. You know, I've talked about my green mix, you know, color. That's like the winner for me, because I like how the way they all mix together easily. Okay, a clean brush, just pull the color down and pull the color down over here, okay? Just clean the brush and just pull the color down over here, and ever so slightly leaving some white area over here, okay? And then I'm going to get back to the indigo now that this part is dry a little bit, and establish that because the line over here will make you, you know, together with the color that you do, will make you see that this is a dimensional, you know, a dimensional bud. Okay, not spend too much time on that. All right, and then we are going to go into, let's just do this flower. Let's see if that's dry. Okay, maybe that's not dry. And if it is not dry, I'm going to drop in some perylene green. You see how the colors spread? Isn't that fun? And it will mix with the sap green right there. Okay, we don't have to worry about mixing color, because if we mix color on a palette, it's not as pretty as the paper could do it. Okay, so that's why I do that. Okay, maybe that is dry, so I'm gonna go over here and paint this a little flower halfway open. And today we're gonna use the magenta, right? And don't worry about all these color, you know, and such. Is all the information are on my blog, okay, and my sunsetpeony.com, and you find this blog post over there, and then you can just let's make it come out this way, okay, and you can just go over there and find all the information that you need, okay. Okay, and I can see that now when you're like trying to do the paints and they don't seems to move very much, then it's time to change to a bigger brush. Okay, now this is introducing this brush is the Chinese flow brush, and all this information, you know, I've talked about them so much, right? They're also in my blog. Okay, in my blog, when in the blog post, actually sorry, you know, I'm talking and painting at the same time. Okay, now I want a little bit of what I call the quinacridone violet color. Okay, and that mixed with the magenta very well. Okay, and I'm going to drop it over where the darker area is. Okay, so as I always said, you know, I don't do just one color, because that now I'm going to drop some over here, because the petal, the leaf of this flower, the hollyhock flower, is going to cast a shadow, so you can actually put some of the purple red, which is the quinacridone violet, okay, that I just told you. And I always say just put at least two color mix in there, because as you do that, then it makes this you know, make the color more rich and prettier. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the magenta. It's just a regular magenta color, and I'm going to do this petal now, because this is the sun coming here, right? And so I'm going to have this lighter, you know, I put a stripe over there, because that's how the vein goes, right? And I'm going to come in and destroy it, so to speak. Not really, okay. And this one, if I can paint this lighter, then it makes that more like, you know, the sun is kissing this, right? And then it also, in doing so, it created dimensional thing. Okay, now we're gonna use this background on the outline. Okay, so I'm gonna show you when I get to that point, so don't worry about that. Okay, and then we are going to, you go back to the zero brush and pick up some magenta first, and I wanted to paint the middle part now, the middle part, which is the part that is in the middle of this blossom, and so it can be darker, right? And so that's when we use the darker tone. Okay, and then we paint that, put that much pigment, and then use a clean brush and pull the color out. Pull the color out like that. Okay, and then to create the depth of this area, we can go back to the quinacridone violet and drop some. Now see the same thing, okay? I let the paper do the dropping and do the mixing of the color. Okay, I hope you can see that is a blossom in front of your eye. It just kind of show up. Okay, and I think that is enough of a vein of the flower. Okay, now let's come over here, and that's why I did that first, and let's do the middle part right here. Okay, now there's a line right there, and that's when the flower come up and then it fold out. Okay, it just the flower petal, it just kind of come up from the flower like this, and then it make a turn. Okay, and we'll see that in a minute. And now we're going back to the green, and let's just go for the perylene green. Okay, and we're gonna come over here and establish a shape that is kind of like a upside down C shape right there. Okay, and then we're gonna fill out, use some of the pigment, okay, to about that much, and then clean the brush again. Okay, clean that little tiny zero brush. I just love this brush because it helped me, you know, do detail areas so easily. Today we are kind of Okay, I'm going to now go to the sap green. Okay, same thing. I dip my brush onto the sap green, and I'm going to drop it here, and then you can see, you know, there's a change, right? There's a let that area, let the paper do the mixing. Okay, do the mixing of the color. All right, and do the mixing of that color, and then I'm going to bring some, just a tiny little bit of green over here, of the sap green color. Okay, and see, you, because of the change in value, right, the deeper and then lighter, then you can, you know, trick our human eye into thinking that, into seeing that it's like it's going into this like a trumpet hole, the hole the deepest part, let's just say it that way. Okay, it's kind of pretty. Okay, now I know that the middle statement is dry, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do magenta, right? Another, you know, to make the shadow of the stamen. But when I put the magenta on the yellow, you see it makes the color itself, right? It makes the color itself on the paper. Isn't that great? So I don't have to be over there in my palette trying to mix a color, because I think, you know, with all these color and all the different pigment that people use on there, but you can see that now that suddenly bring out the shape of the flower. And I'm going to go back and use a little bit of the cadmium yellow. Okay, that's why I don't think I said that then. So it makes the top of the stamen look like a ball. Okay, at least I hope. I think it is. Okay, now let's go in to do the radiant. Okay, now we're gonna try the flow brush, which is a little bit bigger, and we'll see if there's too much water. If it is, then we'll go back to the zero brush. Okay, now, oh, okay, we're gonna let that dry for a minute. Okay, let's just do that. Okay, let's do the stamen over here. Okay, or we can do this one. Let's do this one first. Okay, and we're gonna do the same thing and use the prylene green, which is a darker green. Now, as I was explaining to you, you know, this is from my years of experience, that I really like to do this kind of the mix. And like I always say, just it's not joking, it's real. Okay, prylene green first, and then now it's time to go into the sap green. Okay, dip a little bit of sap green. Okay, and then put it over here. There's no mixing on the palette, so you're not missing out on anything. I promise you, I do not mix on my palette that much at all. Sometimes when I want to mix my own orange color, I might do that. But look at that, I just do it on the paper. The paper and the color just do their own mixture very well, and it's more clean. It doesn't make it look muddy. Okay, and then now I look at the prylene. I say, it needs a little bit more prylene here to make this part darker. And if you want it even darker, you can actually put indigo in it. I don't think it's necessary. You know, I just don't understand that you know, my voice is so, I have a cup of tea over here, and it's very, very light because I put a lot of hot water on it. That's how I moisten myself, I guess, in the morning. We're doing the painting in the morning, okay? So now we can come back this way. Oh, no, let's do this part first. Let's do the same thing, use the magenta, and do the shadow part, okay? You know, so all this had is magenta pigment, and you're gonna say, wow, you know, if you think about it, you know, the orange color is already showing there. And if it is not enough orange, then I go back to the cadmium yellow medium, and as I put that, you know, there, you can see, right, the color is mixing, and so darker and lighter. Okay, yeah, we go through a lot of trouble even on just a little bit of an area like that, because, you know, it is important. But I'm going at a very not a very fast speed, at a good speed. But if you like I always say, if you find it hard to go the same speed, you pause it and then finish your little area of painting and then keep going. Okay, because as you do that, then you know, you don't, because it's your, you know, first time or whatever, and you don't want to be constrained by my speed, if I may say so, because you know, and now I'm going to work on some of the green area over here because my speed is a little bit faster. One is because I have more experience, and of course, and second is I also had done a practice yesterday. The day before, I always do a practice, you know, for 1 day or 2 days, just to work out all the kink, okay? So that's prylene green, the same thing, okay? Same thing as what I did with those, okay? Prylene green. Actually, I actually go to my good friend's house, and then I do sap green, okay? Just like what I did on the other two, okay? And let the color mix, just mix. You guys just do your job, mix over here, okay? Just do your mix, okay? And look at that. And then I use a clean brush, okay? And then I pull the color, you know, soften the line, okay? Learn to softening the line is something that you need to just practice, practice, and practice, okay? And soften it to the point where you say, okay, this is a winner. I like the way it's soft. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my flow brush now, okay? Because this area is dry. In Utah, we're dry, right? If your area is not dry, then you wait a little bit longer, okay? And then I go into the magenta. Now I'm following, you know, so I pick up some magenta color on the brush. You know, it's just on the brush tip. It really is not that much because you can always add more, but it's very, very hard to take away, if that makes sense, okay? And so if you see the little line, little pencil line, okay, and that's where the radiant is show me. Okay, Kathy, you need to follow the radiant and go like this, okay? And you just kind of, it's almost like you're flicking the color out and let it go close to the green. It doesn't matter. And you say, okay, now this is about as much as I can manage this little area. You know, with watercolor, it is not wise to do a big area, you know, because you have to be speedy, right? You have to be quick. But with little area, we can manage, right? You know, I have 20 some odd year of experience. Now I clean the brush. Okay, so this is a clean brush with no pigment. I'm using the pigment that I put here and still following the direction and pull the color out, okay? And then at the end, and some of this radiant line is destroyed, okay? You know, by the clean brush, right? But don't worry about it. You know, if we feel like as an artist at the end, oh, we need to fix that and put a little bit more in, then we'll come back and do that, okay? So now we just, and then I clean my brush a second time, okay, and dry it quite well. And then I finish, you know, doing that, okay? And then at this point, I know that I want something a little bit darker. Let's not do that yet, okay? Let's not do that yet. Let's wait until, maybe we can, okay? So what we're gonna do is use some Quin violet, okay, on this brush, okay? And then we're gonna do this area, then now you don't need to, you can flick it down a little bit, but you know, we're just laying some pigment on here, okay? Okay, now why am I doing that? Because the Quin violet is a little bit darker in the value, right, than this. So, you know, I'm kind of saying that, oh, this is actually the shadowy area. Okay, and then I actually have this cadmium, French ultramarine. Okay, a long time ago, it got dry and it won't come out of the tube. And so I'm going to just pick up a little and add that over here. Because with that beautiful blue color, you know what it does is it adds, it tricks the eye see the blue color, because in our own world, there's so much color that are blue when it's in the shadow. And so our eye will tell us, oh, okay, now I think that there need to be a little bit more color over here. So I go back to the magenta and just put a little bit more color. It's very, very good to leave white, okay? Now let's try to manage this area, okay? This area of the petal, okay? The petal of the blossom. Going back to the magenta again, and the tip, okay? Just a little bit of the magenta, and I'm going to follow the radiant of the, you know, the pencil line, okay? And just do some like that, okay? I'm gonna stop right here, because the flower has a fold on there, the flower that I have picked and designed that. And so I'm going to show you a little bit over there in a minute what I'm going to do, okay? You can see that a little bit of my pigment went into the green. You know, that is like absolutely fine, because in nature, that actually does happen that way, doesn't it? Okay, the green can actually, when it's dry, you can actually mix with the magenta. But now green and red, right? Green and red pink, you know, when it's not dry, then you don't attempt to do that. And if you live in like people like Hong Kong or Malaysia, like from or Texas, Florida, you know, area, then you have to worry about a little bit about when the paper is dry, and those will be warrant your practice. Okay, which what I mean is, okay, I'm dipping in my magenta again and getting some, and just a little bit follow the gradient, okay, and do this part of the painting. What you guys need to do is like practice a lot, and then make it so that you understand how to manage and then sometimes I just leave some of the stripe without touching them because I think, oh, they're pretty. Now I want the middle part to be a little bit going into the center of the flower, so I'm coming in with the quinacridone violet. Okay, and be careful with the stamen and over there, and then this will trick the eye in seeing that the flower is going into the middle part. Okay, it's just really fun, and that's mostly what artists does. We do things like that. Now that part is dry. Before I forget, right, I'm gonna pick out the same cadmium yellow medium, and just a tag, okay, just a little bit, and put it here. Now, so what do you see? You see part of it is turning kind of yellow, right? Okay, and so that will make the flower actually turn into a little more apricot instead of just magenta pink. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do with my. And if you don't like that, you know, for your painting, then don't worry about it. Okay, don't worry about doing this step. Okay. And so let me see, okay, and then I'm going to do this area, this little petal. Now why do I put a line that is so okay, the pencil line that actually bothered me. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, like I say, you know, don't worry about my speed. If my speed bother you, then you just slow down yourself. Okay. Okay, as I explained earlier, right, there's a change in direction of the petal. It come up and then fold out, okay? And so that's what we're trying to accomplish here. And so we need a little bit more intense color over here. Just a little bit. And that wasn't quite enough, so I'm getting a little bit more. Okay, and I'm pulling a little bit of the color over here. There's a fold, right? And you can pay attention to this fold. We don't touch it yet. And when it's time to touch it, then we will. Okay? And I'm going to put magenta and quinacridone violet over there. Okay? And so as of right now, I'm going to put a little bit of a shadow area over here too. Shadow color, I mean. That will be the quinacridone violet. Okay? And maybe just drop a tag of that French ultramarine blue over here. Okay? But even with all these color, our goal is to make people see that it is not that many color. It's not, you can't see that I'm putting a lot of color in it. And the way of doing that is, okay, we're gonna do follow the rate. The way of doing that is, you know, make the color more rich is by you know, majority of the color, make sure that it is the magenta or whatever you pick, okay? And then the other one, the quinacridone violet, and the, you know, even with the little blue color, make sure that it is not that much. Okay, I want this part to be lighter because there's light coming in, and this part to be darker. So if you want to, you can actually drop a little bit more magenta here. Okay, and then when it come out, you know, because the petal, the outside part of the petal of the hollyhock, capture the sun, if capture is the right word, you know, or face the sun a little bit. So we want to, so there's a lot of white area that you can see that I'm trying to preserve, okay? And then let's do that and keep going with this, okay? Same, we're just doing it by section so that you don't get so or you and I both don't get so overwhelmed with, you know, because, you know, if we think about it logically, okay, if you, you know, let's just do radiant all over. By the time you're done with this part, the magenta color that you're trying to put on the other side that you already lay on might be totally dry. Okay, a clean brush, soften that edge, okay, and pull the color out. It's already dry, and when it's dry, then what do? You know, it's a little bit hard to deal with it or move it. Sometimes with some color, magenta is okay. It's very easy to work with color, but with some other color, you actually will run into the problem of it, you know, stay permanently. Like this quinacridone violet that I'm doing, okay? It is very, very fast. It will suddenly turn permanent. Now, just like over here, okay, what Kathy is doing, me, is I'm trying to show the viewer that that part is darker. It goes, so give you the illusion that it's going into the middle. You know, the middle part is darker, and then it get lighter as it go up. Okay, let's do a little drop, a little bit more. You know, this is the time when this brush cannot be too wet, okay? Because, you know, we, especially when you're doing smaller painting like this, okay? Don't let it be too wet. Okay, now this part, the petal over here casts a shadow onto this area, right? And so we will be more than happy for nature to help us this way, because now we're making the shadow, and as we're making the shadow, we're also bringing out the shape of the one that's on top of it. Okay, quinacridone violet, and just push it around a little bit. Okay, so that's a more of a shadowy color. Further make it more shadow, we pick up that French ultramarine that I just showed you and just drop that, okay? And then your mind will tell you, you know, as you look at the painting, oh, there's this one is casting a shadow onto that one, okay? No problem. Okay, and then we will work on this part over here and go back to the magenta with a clean brush, of course. And then we're gonna go, now there's a flower petal that is over here, and okay, so I'm outlining so you can see that, okay? And it's obstructing the radiant of the one behind it, the one underneath it, but it's still there, so we need to, you know, just have that little bit of a detail, and you can do it, okay? It's not that, you know, if you don't see what I did, then go back, you know, go back and use your video to the best of your advantage, okay? Go back and take a look what I did over there, okay? I just outlined that, and so that flower show up, right? And then that's it. And this part, I'm just gonna just put a little bit of quinacridone violet, because it's kind of still in the shadowy area right here, okay? Just a tiny little bit. Okay. Now we are very happy with this area, and so when that is still a little bit wet, I'm going to just you know, just let it go, okay? And then come work on this and the radiant over here, the same thing, okay? I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 of the petals, you know, today, and of course I'm gonna have some very abstract fantasy actually go this way. You know, I'm just talking and not thinking, and that's not good, okay? And I'm going to you know, think, yeah, and the background. I'm not going to talk about the background until we get to it, okay? And so after I lay down this radiant line with the magenta, I'm going to take this brush and come back over here and do this, okay? You know, and now I have a folded area of the flower over here, and that's very not too hard, okay? But while we're doing it, we kind of need to, you know, make sure that there's a nice separation over here, okay? Okay, and so I just pick up some magenta and I do that. Yeah, magenta. And then I'm gonna soften this area. You know, some of the line you don't soften, some of the pigment area you soften, so that, you know, it is just give the eye. And now this is quinacridone violet, okay? And same concept, okay? We want to make the middle part darker, okay? And I'm dropping it in while it's still wet. And quinacridone violet and magenta just mix beautifully in a flower, okay? And so this is quite nicely happy, and just gonna let it be, okay? And then I'm going to go back to the magenta. No, yes, magenta color, no, yes. Okay, and I'm gonna do this radiant area over here, okay? Wow, school has started. I hope you guys had a very, very beautiful summer and have a lot of fun. So it's hollyhock season, right? And I'm still, I just want you to know that I'm still have my mind thinking of how to do a dupe of color in a relatively inexpensive palette for you guys. But I'm not doing it yet because I'm working out the kinks, you know, and thinking that, you know, I actually had a palette that I haven't used. Maybe I'll just use that, or maybe I will just think about, you know, having someone, you know, just send us a free palette, you know. I mean us, you know, of course it's us, you know. In my practice, I put a stripe of green color over there. It looks good, and so I'm going to do the same. Oh, let's just, I live life on the edge. Let's give it a chance to dry over there first, okay? And not live life on the edge so much. And then I'm going to just close out and do that little part over there. Yeah, I don't know, you know. You know, this is the way I like to do things, you know. If somebody wants to send me, you know, something where I can review it for them, I will be happy, but I don't like to sign anything. Does that make sense? You know, my channel is so small, and I'm such a, you know, I self-finance, you know, and I don't, you know, I have to be very careful. And the reason why I talk about it, because, you know, I think there was somebody that told us, and she want me to sign my life away, and my daughter say, just don't sign your life away, Mom. No, yeah, my daughter said that, and I have a sister. Okay, now I'm going to use the zero brush, and take just a little bit of and make sure that that's dry, just a little bit of prylene green, okay, and then put it over here. That seems to give the eye a break for some reason, and I really like that. So I'm gonna just, you know, do the same thing over here. Just give the eye a little break. You know, let the green color go into the pink, okay? Cut into the pink. Isn't that pretty? And then I can soften it if it is too sharp, you know. But you know, we need to do that because sometimes our eye just get a little overburdened with too much of one color, okay? And in nature doesn't overburden us because our master artist, which is our God, he knows how to do things. And so, well, if you go to like a big, you know, tulip show, I guess you would, maybe you will be overburdened. I felt overburdened when I went to a big tulip show. And so, you know, well, but that's our own doing, you know, because we wanted to have all those, now I'm going to just use the zero brush. We wanted to, it's a human made, right? It's a big tulip show that we have in this place called Thanksgiving Point. And sometime I go, sometime I don't, because there's just, they import stuff from Holland, tulips from Holland, and then they have a big show, and you pay $20 or something to go in. You know, I'm going to see if I can get an artist discount. Should I do that? I think I might, because, you know, then I can go in and just sketch and paint the tulips, you know. It's very good to do things like that, because as you do that, you can give yourself, now the radiant is more spread out over here, because that's what nature does, and it will, if you know, follow nature. Now quinacridone violet, okay, to make this part deeper, okay. And while I am at the quinacridone violet, I'm going to print this part quinacridone violet only, because this will trick your eye into thinking that, seeing that that part is actually deeper into the flower, okay. And so when they have the tulip show, I sometimes get overwhelmed because there's just so many, okay, and the color is just bursting. And so I and maybe do a little bit of blue over there too, actually, to get that part, okay. Isn't that pretty? You know, now you can see that the flower is like come up and then bend out, okay. And then I need to put a little more radiant, because that's the part I'm going to use quinacridone violet to do that. That's the part that is important for the eye to see the radiant right there, okay? Of the line. Yeah, so I get overwhelmed by the show because it's just so many. Now you can see all the flowers are almost done. Okay, I'm just gonna, except this part right here. That's the part where the color fold up from the back. Okay, so let's use quinacridone and magenta is first. Okay, and just kind of, it's another way to fool the eye, right? And then I'm gonna mix in with the quinacridone violet, so this area is a little bit darker. Okay, and that's it. And that's it. That's the folding part. Okay, and in order for our eye to believe it more, I'm going to put a line over here, and take care when I'm doing the background not to destroy that line. Okay, and then over here I wanted to do a line over here so that the eye can see that that area is folded. Okay, now let's keep going with because there is a little bud over here, and so I'm going to show you guys what happened. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the middle part first, okay, of this little pretty bud. Okay, I'm going to do the middle part with quinacridone, and ever so lightly. It's almost like doing a rose, really. Ever so slightly, leaving some white, okay, but not a lot, just here and there. Okay, and as we go, we will use magenta. Yes, magenta, and do this part, okay, and let the two color mix. Okay, same thing, because I just decided I'm gonna emphasize that a lot so that you will you will notice it. How's that? When I'm painting, that I'm actually telling you the truth. And then ever so slightly I'm going to leave some white area over here. Okay, and that's a bud that's coming facing this way before it's open. Okay, and then when we have the time, when this is dry, we're going to come in and drop a little bit of green over there. Now let's do the background over here, because this part we need the background, but it's very easy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my green mix again. Okay, and this is indigo right here. Okay, you can see if I really mix the color, this will be a big puddle, but I don't. Okay, and I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, and take care to turn your brush so you can have a tip. Okay, so there's a nice clean area right there. Okay, and then this is when you use your background to make the flower petal look pretty. Okay, and so I'm gonna do that. Okay, make it go over there. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is just let this color stay here for a while, and then I'm going to go into my prylene green. Okay, just dab the prylene green with a clean brush. Okay, and then I put it right next to it, as I mentioned earlier. Right, this is me, the way of I'm making that looks like sorry, and then sap green. Okay, I drop it in, not making that. I am actually allowing the color to mix on the paper. Okay? Nice, right? All right, and then I say, oh, that's not enough, but guess what? These green look good with violet. So I'm going to put a violet over here. Now, why do I do that? Because it is the background of the flower, right? And if you think about nature, there will be some color that's showing up. Now, because I have some green over here, I can actually drop magenta over here. And so what does that do? What that does is it makes you have the illusion that in the background there's a lot of foliage. Okay, now I'm going to do something really brave. You can wait for this to dry, but I'm going to use some green and just meet up with the color, because I know that color mix over there is actually quite pretty. Okay, and so now I'm going to right here, now I'm going to use prylene green. Let's use prylene green, and I'm going to drop it on. Now this is the base of the green that come out to support this flower, right? Okay, and that brush is probably a little bit too big to do that, but as someone who is pressing for time, she does meaning me. Whatever it takes, you know, and don't change brush, okay? Now I'm going to do that, another flow brush. I call the Oriental art people and said that I need to have another flow brush. Not call, I actually texted them. No, emailed them, haven't heard back from them. I want to have another flow brush because it's time. You know, this brush has served me over 20 years. Isn't that great? These brushes are great. And if you don't want to know, the link is also in my blog, okay? So don't worry about it. And I'm just going to pull this green color over here, okay? So this is part of my background, okay? I'm actually doing, and you can see that what you see is nature, okay? Just foliage or whatever you can see behind, okay? And so I went down to see my friend. It's sad, but I guess I talk about it. And I have a neighbor, you know, she was also my friend. And I went to see her hollyhock because her hollyhock are pretty, but they're actually dying. The hollyhock is full bloom and they don't stay bloom very long, right? And I drop a little bit, just a drop of violet over there, okay? And not worry about it. Okay, it's getting very, very pleasing, okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the stem. Now I'm going to use this because this is a synthetic brush, okay? It's a Jackson brush. I don't even link that because what I'm thinking is I'm going to dip that in the prylene green, because the reason why I don't link it, because I think that you can get this brush anywhere. You can find some synthetic brush. It's stiffer, so I use it to make stems and such, because then I can have a stiffer brush, you know, and do a crispier edge, right? And you don't have to have this and go into the sap green, okay? Lighter area as it go up, right? And I'm going to, any kind of synthetic brush that's kind of smallish for you to do stem, you can go ahead and do that. Because, we can have a suggestion of a stem that's come down from there to here, okay? Just a suggestion. You know, if you do something strict, your eye will just tell you, oh, that's a stem. Clean the brush and pull the color out, okay? And just kind of let it disperse. And so what I'm going to do, we're getting to the background, which is so nice, okay? What I'm going to do is so right now I'm just going to use the... You know what? I am going to use this. This is our trusty Happy Dot detail, okay? It's not that detailed because I've used it for 20 years. I still haven't... I think I bought one and give it to a niece, my husband's niece. So I need to go order another one. And so, and do a petal, do a flower over here, but in a very abstract style, okay? So I'm going to go into the magenta now, okay? And pick up a little bit more pigment, okay? On this brush. And so we're getting to the background, right? So we use this flower, the background, so that to bring out the outline of the flower over here, okay? And that's what you need to do when you are doing, when you're doing a flower that has a lot of white to it, okay? Okay, and that's it. And then what I'm going to do, because you know that this is part of the, I'm going to come in with a clean brush and just kind of disperse the color. You know that this is a flower, right? And if you wanted to, you can add more line, but I don't think we needed to, because we're going to the background now, okay? And then there's a little bit of a, this brush, the pointed area is not as good anymore, but I still wanted to use that because it holds a lot of color and pigment and such, and it's best, you make the background. Okay, so there's a flower here. I'm sure you can tell. But if you can't tell, then just trust me. Okay, a big one too, Okay, coming down here. And we're not going to paint everything, but I will actually give you the drawing, because, you have all the time you want at home, right? Or you make all the time at home. But as for us, we need to, sometime. I'm going to do this background right here with you for, let's start over here because this is drier and give that a chance, okay? So what I'm going to do is just use Quin violet, and then just use this background to bring out the the petal line, okay, right there. Okay, now, but this is just going to be a mesh of color, okay? This is just a suggestion to your mind that in the background there is actually a flower in the distance somewhere. Okay, and just let that go for a little bit, and then I'm going to use my indigo and come over here and close that area in the background, okay? So it's very abstract over here, okay? And while this area is still wet, I just decided that I'm gonna let some of the color run into it. And maybe at this time use some prylene. Yeah, so I went because my friend, all this year I've, you know, we talk about our flowers. Sometimes she give me some of her flower and just say, Kathy, take some of these and go back home. And one time I took it, and then it actually took all of her snail from her house to mine, and then I had to go, you know, kind of, you know, get rid of the snail. Okay, so now it's just the background. I'm just like allowing myself to, you know, I actually have a line for extra flower over there, but I've changed my mind. I'm not going to do that. And so I erase that, and just like this is mainly our painting, okay? And so, let's see, I've done this like so. Now what I'm going to do is I just want to show you a little bit how we do the fold, okay? There's a folding of the color, and when there's a fold, it casts a shadow right here, okay? And so if you have time, you go accentuate that with a line a little bit and soften that outer part of the line, and then it make that fold look ever so more beautiful. And then we can even outline that a little bit and soften that outline, okay? And then you can see that the flower come down here, and then it fold, okay? Okay, sorry, I need to grab a piece of napkin. My paintbrush is splashing. Okay, and so I'm going to use the time. Yes, I will, and just keep doing the background for you over here. Okay, and then let's do it from the top up, from the upper part, and then, you know, prylene green, and then we say, okay, let's have another bud over here. But since it's the background, we're not going to go into detail like that, right? Okay, and then if you want, you know, a little bit more color, just drop in your prylene color. Okay. Drop in the prylene color and don't do detail, okay? Because now we're into the fantasy, not fantasy, abstract part of the, you know, and then this, you know, and then let's say that there's another bud coming here, okay? And that's all you have to paint. And if you drop a little bit of the magenta, wow, there's so much water. Isn't that fun? I love it when I, you know, make mistake and have to correct it, because, you know, that give you the chance to see that I make mistake, of course. Okay, and that's just like that, and that will, you know, let you see. And then now I'm going to just have fun. Okay, just prylene green and just have fun over here, because I don't really have to. I might just kind of do a leaf shape here. Okay, and then come quickly with a clean brush and destroy the shape so that you can see that there's a leaf shape, but, you know, you can't really, you know, and just keep dropping color here and there, okay? Dropping some color here and there. So that's like, you know, background, right? And, you know, I do my background all the time, and sometimes I do it a tag differently, you know, just so that you guys know. If you know, sometimes because of the press of time at the very end, you know, I don't really finish it, you know, like every single area, okay? I'm gonna just, this is a light pigment of prylene green, okay? And then, because there's more light, and so everything in the top, I like to do it a little bit lighter. And so I actually tell people, every single one of my painting, you can learn about what to do to finish up your background, okay? And just have a very, very good time, even though you're a beginner, you know. And you know what is this that I just did? I'm just putting an outline of a leaf there. And then I come in, and then I can drop indigo color over here, you know. And I can drop any color that, as I please, you know, or as you please. And then I'm going to drop some, and then that suggests that there's something over there. Okay, but in this, because there's so much white, right? So we use the background color to help us with making sure that you can see how the line of the shape, right, is suddenly just kind of come alive to you. Okay, and use water, not too dry and not too wet. Okay, and then come over here, and then we can do the line. Yeah, let's do sap green. Okay, and so what we're doing is we're using the color that we use in the painting on the background for foliage, you know, so everything is very, very consistent, you know. Okay, and then yeah, and we use indigo, so let's drop some indigo over here while it's still wet. Okay, but don't make a line. Okay, if I do, which I do sometimes, I'll come in and fix that. And now I need some to drop some quinacridone violet, because we use that all over the painting, right? And so you can see that, wow, there is stuff behind it. And so that's, you know, how you work the background. It's very relaxing and not stressful, I guess, in a way, you know. And that will be something that you will get better, I promise, as you just paint with me. And then that part we can do indigo, because that flower petal over there actually, you know, is casting a shadow. So we can use some indigo, and then you know, clean the brush and use some water. Not some water, whatever that's in here, but don't drop water in it, because I think that will make it spread a little bit too much. Okay, and so I went and see my friend's house, and she doesn't come out to say hi anymore. You know, because I lived in this area for a long time, and she recently have Alzheimer, so she doesn't come out, I guess. Sometimes she come out and work in her garden, but you know, it's just really sweet. You know, I'm going to use that French ultramarine and just drop color over there for no reason. Okay, so you can do whatever you want, okay, with the color. Okay, and so she doesn't come out and say hi to me, but she still recognizes me and smile at me at church, you know. Actually, not very far ago, long time ago, not very far long distant ago, she actually, like, I think it will be about a month ago, she actually saw me and say, "Hi, Kathy." It's just very fun, you know, because they you know, you never know when they remember you, and if they remember your name, it will be just a split, you know, time, and then they forget your name again, which is fine. That is life, you know. Okay, and this is cadmium yellow, you know, just so that the statement part, right? And to make sure that the orange of the mixed color show up, I'll drop magenta on here and just let it mix, and it will mix, I promise you. Okay, if it doesn't, then we force it to mix. Okay, but anyway, I love my friend, even though life is hard, you know. Can't talk to her like what I used to, but you know, imagine her husband can't talk to her, you know, but he's taking really good care of her. I really am proud of him, you know. Like, I mean, like sometimes she'll say things that are kind of strange, and he would, you know, not make fun of her, you know, which I don't like, you know. I don't know, that's just my rant, you know. I don't like, you know, because I know she doesn't, you know, want it herself to be the way she is, and we need to, as friends and family, understand that, you know, when they cry or whatever, just realize that they don't want to do it. Don't make fun of them, and just be kind, right? Don't make fun of them, you know. I'm kind also. I know that it's very frustrated for husbands, you know, when their wife, you know. And in our ward over here, I mean our church area, you know, we call them our ward. We actually had a few ladies that are suffering, like right now, the challenge, you know. And yeah, you know, you might think that she suffer, but I know that her husband suffer more. Their husband suffer more, and we have one man too. And then, you know, of course, with the man, then the wife suffer more. I understand that, you know. But they have very, very good service nowadays, you know. I'm not talking about this because I'm just like, you know, kind of just do whatever, you know. If I wanted to do a leaf shape, I will just kind of do a leaf shape over here, okay? You know, so you know, the leaf of, by the way, the leaf of hollyhock are very fragile, you know, so the bugs come and eat them, and they are holy a lot of time, have lots of holes, okay? So they don't need to be very, very, you know, pretty looking. I'm going to like just do this part with you and then finish up this part with you and say goodbye, okay? And then finish up this area, you know, which is nothing, you know, there's not a lot of trick to that. But over here, that's the petal, okay? That's that flower, the petal. So I'm going to, you know, just a little bit careful, okay? Look, I'm outlining. You see the outline of that flower? It's suddenly just because I want to leave this part white, right? How do you paint white? You don't paint it, paint the shadow behind it and the shadow in it, okay? Yeah. And I hope you and wish you guys with all the good health, okay? And keep working, you know, on giving yourself challenge in your, if you really like art, you know, you should do that because it keep you smart and, you know, the challenging of, you know, learning, you know, and making decision for yourself and thinking, you know, like if you miss something that I did, you say, oh, how did she do that? I didn't see it, you know, well, then you can go back, or she didn't even finish this part. Well, then I encourage you to, you know, exercise your right to, you know, create something, you know, and just say, okay, I'm going to try doing it this way, okay? And don't just stop and not do anything, right? Because this is really, you know, I'm dropping magenta on the yellow, okay? This is really your right to create, and it's very, very good for us to create. You know, really awesome for us to create things, you know, because then you have a sense of accomplishment. It's very good for our soul and our mind. Okay, and so I'm going to just stop the, you know, just do the, like do a little bit of outline here and then smear that everywhere, okay? And sometimes you can even bring some of the green in. You know what that does, right? It makes it look like it is mingled with the background. Okay, and that's it. I hope that you have fun. I look at this and I'm going to take one last look, and then I'm going to say goodbye and wish you all the good luck and all the good health, okay? And keep painting, keep you know, keep trying. You will not regret your investment in the time and the effort and the supplies. And if talking about supplies, go to my blog and there's a product list. You can go and see if you wanted to order from, you know, Amazon on those people, okay? Anyway, that's a surface to, you know, so you know. Anyway, love you all. Bye-bye.